Today, I want to talk about an often overlooked but very important aspect of Etsy listings. Doing this correctly will not only get you more sales, it'll also help seal the deal when it comes to customers purchasing your item. And as a special bonus, it will help you with your SEO too, which is search engine optimization, basically bringing more traffic to your listing. So in return, you can get more sales. Let's dive in and talk about it today. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm LL, your host and your guide through your handmade and Etsy journey. Glad to have you guys back as usual. We are rolling into Christmas. We are just a couple of days away. I can hardly believe that Christmas is already here and that we're going to be rolling into 2023, and I keep using the term rolling. I don't know why. It's the term of the week. Now that it's in my head, I'm going to use it for everything in this episode, and it's going to get really annoying. Hopefully not. I'm going to block it out, I promise. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year. It's been a crazy year. It's been a fun year. It's been a hectic year. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you can't. I don't know how it's been for you. Hopefully it's been all good things in your personal life and your Etsy journey as well. 2023 it's hopefully going to be even better for you, and I want to help make that happen, which is why I'm going to continue to bring that fire with these episodes. I got a lot more stuff planned, a lot of stuff I want to give you in the future. I appreciate all your reviews, your feedback. If you have it, I read them all. I know a lot of you guys leave great feedback. Positive feedback. You send me emails. You send me ideas for future episodes. So I really appreciate the feedback, and I use that to bring you more useful stuff in the future. And I'm going to continue to do that going forward. And I'm super excited for 2023 as well. So today I have another really good episode for you guys, and it's something that's not as flashy and as fun to talk about, but it's really important to talk about because it's something that can really help your listing success and help you with your success on Etsy. And really what I want to talk about today is Etsy descriptions. So I want to give you 5 Etsy description hacks and confirm and help reconfirm how important it is, how your listing Etsy listing description is, if you don't already think that it's important. Admittedly, this is not the most important area of your listing, which is probably why sellers overlook it and half-ass it, but it kind of completes your listing. So think of, if you buy a house or you build a house, and this is top of mind considering I just moved into my new house finally, thankfully. I've talked about it before in other episodes and over on the YouTube channel. So if you want to hear about that adventure, check out the last couple of episodes. But it's top of mind, which is why I'm going to use it as an analogy here. But if you buy a house or build a house or whatever the case may be, and it doesn't have any finishes in it, it's still livable. You can still live there, but it's really not great, right? It's not as good as it could be. It's kind of weird. It's kind of wonky. Same thing with your Etsy listing descriptions. If you don't have them, or like I said before, they're not done great or they're half-assed, it's something that's buyers see that and they're going to be like, the pictures are good, the price is right, but the description leaves a lot to be desired and it really doesn't add a lot of value. So I'm really not sure if I should move forward and buy this item because they didn't take the time to give me a good description, rather. So really why your description is important to kind of bring this thing home is it's twofold. One, the main reason why it's important is it really sets the tone, and it should have the goal, rather, of answering any question before the customer has it. That's really the point of your description. If a customer has a question, chances are 9 times out of 10, they're not going to ask it. They're not going to take the time to message you. Some will, of course, but others won't take the time to message you. So this is why you got to answer the questions in the description, because if they're not going to message you, what are they going to do next? They're going to find a related listing and buy that person's listing that answers their question. Keep in mind, when you're looking at products on Etsy, there's a whole bunch of related listings on the bottom panel that Etsy shows you that are not necessarily your listings, they're competitor listings. So it's really easy to be able to find another similar listing and purchase from them. And that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to have them leave your page. We want to have them have their question answered and buy from you and not go to someone else. The goal, I know a lot of people get upset about that, but the goal of Etsy is to have people purchase items so that they can make more money, so that you can make more money hopefully as well. But if you're not going to do it, then they're going to present a listing that's giving the customer the most bang for their buck so that they buy from them, and that the customer doesn't ultimately leave Etsy, the platform, at all, and they still buy somewhere in the platform. So the goal is to do your description right, so they're not leaving your listing, they're buying from you and not buying from someone else. That is number one. Number two is it's even more important now because your descriptions play a role in Etsy search. Before, your descriptions only played a role in Google search. So if your listings are being shown in Google Shopping, whether you're doing offsite ads or they're just being shown in general, because they can still present them on Google Shopping, their description is that Google's pulling that description and using the keywords and helping to optimize that for Google Shopping. Now, Etsy changed the policy where they are also using your description for Etsy search, for the Etsy search algorithm, pulling keywords out of there to help your item rank, to help it show it in front of people that are looking for it. So twofold. For value for the customers, one. For two, because it is helping to rank your listing better in Etsy search because they're pulling keywords out of there. All right, so let's dive into some hacks. I'm going to give you 5 hacks, plus I got a bonus hack for you, so that you can have bulletproof descriptions, which in return will hopefully help you make more sales, which is the ultimate goal. This is fun, but if we're not making sales, it's not very fun, right? So let's change the game with your Etsy listing description. So the first one that I want to dive into is keywords. I just mentioned it. Etsy search pulls out your keywords and your descriptions and helps use those to rank your listings better, to see what your listing is, so it shows it in front of people that are looking for your listings. Helps create relevancy, which will basically pair it up with customers that are looking and searching for your item. So the more keywords, the more relevant keywords you have in your description, the more relevant keywords you have in your titles and tags. Those all work together to help your listings rank better, to help show them in front of the appropriate audience, the appropriate customers. You don't want to just throw a paragraph of random keywords in your description. This is a big no-no. Not to mention it looks terrible. It looks super spammy. It looks like hot trash. You just don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're putting keywords in your description in a natural way, in a sentence format. This can be in terms of an elevator pitch. So usually a good way to start your description is 1 or 2 sentences describing your item and who it's good for, what it would be used for. It's your elevator pitch. This is basically if you have a couple of seconds to tell someone about your item and tell it about the value, this is where you want to do it. So think about it in terms of that, and that is a natural way to work keywords naturally into your description. And then in some of the other areas of your description that I'm going to talk about, you will also naturally have keywords in there. So if you're writing your description in a normal human way, your elevator pitch in a normal human way, your keywords will naturally come out. So you just get as many in there as you can where it makes sense, and just don't write a list format of keywords. That's not going to help your listing perform any better. The algorithm will be able to detect that. It's basically just you cramming in keywords called keyword stuffing that really does not work anymore. That's kind of an old way to do things. So don't do that. It doesn't look good. I would definitely stay away from that. So that is hack number 1. Really, really important way to think about your description, because it will help you not only sell and bring value to your listing, your item, but it'll help you in terms of search. Number 2 is set up a template of your description. All right, this is something that a lot of people don't do. It really takes a lot of their time away. especially if you're selling related items. Your description should all be formatted kind of the same way, structured the same way, however you want to structure it. I'm going to talk about in these different hacks. It'll give you different sections that you can structure your description in. You can keep that same structure and just change the content in. And the more related your listings are, the less you're going to have to change as far as that structure. So you can have like a Google document or a Note document if you're an Apple user, and create a template that you just copy and paste and then change different parts. Or it can be as simple as copying the listing. A lot of people don't realize, especially if you're a new seller, you can duplicate the listing. You already have your listing ready to go. It's already selling, yada, yada. You have a similar listing. You just go and duplicate that listing, change out the pictures, change out the price if you need to change it, anything else you need to change. But then you go in down to the description and you just change a couple of things that you need to change. Usually it's going to be your elevator pitch, but if it's the exact same item, otherwise the rest of the stuff can stay the same. But your keywords are going to change slightly, hence your elevator pitch or your sales pitch or your value pitch, whatever you want to call it. That's the part that you're going to change. But this is going to save you so much time than rewriting your entire description. Not to mention, you want to keep your stuff uniform, as uniform as possible. If every single one of your descriptions is kind of all over the place and different, someone's bouncing around, they're interested in a couple of different items from your shop, it's going to get really, really annoying really, really quick if all your stuff's jumbled around, not in the same place as far as your description goes. And I also encourage you to separate out the chunks of your description. Don't have everything jumbled into one big paragraph. Make it sectioned out so someone can jump to it easily. Your eyes can easily see that it's sectioned off. Okay, I don't want to look at this section. This is the section I want to look at. If it's in one big paragraph, someone is instantly not going to read that one big paragraph. It's going to be a big turn off. So make sure it's sectioned off, easy to see the different sections and how you have your listing set up. All right, number 3, and this is a really good hack that you can do, is create backlinks in your description. And backlinks are just links to other listings in your shop. This is an easy way to not only keep people in your shop and not bouncing to other shops. It's an easy way to keep them in your shop. It's also an easy way to get them to purchase more. It's also an easy way to get them to purchase something because maybe they're not interested in what they're looking at now, but you're presenting another item that they may be interested in. So you're basically just copying the link. So if you go to any of your listings and you go down and click the share button, it'll give you a link that you can copy that link into the description. Granted, the link is really long, so you may want to cut that link down. How you do that is you use a free website called Bitly, B-I-T-L-Y. There may be a dot in there, but if you type in B-I-T-L-Y, it should come up. And you can paste that long link in there, and it'll automatically shorten it, and then you copy that shortened link into your description and it'll still go to the same place. It just looks a little bit cleaner, and then instead of copying a link that may be like two sentences long. So backlinks are really good, a really good sales tactic to keep people inside your shop purchase more. You may want to do backlinks for related listings. It's probably the best thing to do, listings that are similar. Best sellers, maybe new listings, maybe you can do it for sets. This is kind of along the same lines as related listing, or maybe there's another listing that you want that makes a good set, or it's very similar. If they buy that, then it'll be the set. You can do it for upgrades. If you sell something where it has other accessories or other upgrades to it, instead of them trying to find it or maybe not even knowing that it exists, you just put those related listings in here. Just like maybe if you have just a quick examples, if you have a charm bracelet, maybe it's like a heart charm bracelet, and you're like, oh, you want these other charms? You want a cross? You want a bear? You want a scorpion? I don't know. I had to throw something more extreme in there. It's a really quick way for them to know, okay, they had these other options for me to buy that maybe they don't know. Because most people will land on your listing, but they're never going to land on you're never going to go to your entire shop. They're just going to go to your listing and stay there, either purchase or not purchase. Don't go overboard with backlinks. Throw 1 or 2 in there, maybe 3 if it makes sense, but don't go overboard because you don't want to fill it up with links and it doesn't look very appealing. It starts to look spammy. Make sure you're describing the links so that people know what they are, not just throwing random links in your description, because that looks really like someone's trying to hack you. All right, that brings us to number 4. This is create an FAQ section in your description. I know as part of your shop sections, you can do an FAQ section, but most people are never going to find that, never going to go there. So have a couple of FAQs in your description answering questions. This is a great way, like I said, the ultimate goal of your description is to answer questions before someone has them, and you do that with an FAQ section. You present the question and you present the answer. You can do bulleted forms, however you want to do it. So it's easy to read, easy to reference. And this is a great way for people to get their questions answered and decide whether or not to buy. So think about the questions that people want to know. What do they want to know about your listings? What have they asked before? This is a great telltale sign. If someone keeps asking a question about your listing and you have to answer it, that better be in your FAQ section. That better be in your description, because if you have a few people asking it, that means a whole bunch more people are not asking it. So use people as your guide to what you're putting in your FAQ section, and it will help you guys out. All right, the next one, number 5, is include a specs section or an instructions section, etc. Whatever you want to call it. It should be relevant to your product. Maybe you have a washing instructions part, or maybe most everyone should have a specs section, but then maybe you want to also include instructions section. So specs should just be like sizing, materials, different things like that. Granted, those are going to be in your attributes as well, a lot of your specs, but it's okay to repeat those in your description, because people aren't going to read all of your listings. So it's good to have some redundancy just in case people don't see certain things in the listing, especially if it's important. So make sure you're including specs and instructions in there. Instructions if it's applicable, especially like I said, washing instructions, maybe wear instructions, use instructions, how-to instructions, different things like that. Depending on what you're selling, that may or may not be applicable, but that'll be really helpful, extremely helpful for people to make their purchase decision. And also to come back and reference too. If they forget, they can go back and reference what you have in there as far as instructions. All right, and that brings us to our final bonus tip that I have for you. So this is technically number 6. You can use descriptions as another way to message buyers with important information. And this is usually kind of more temporary, but you can do shipping deadlines, you can do sales announcements, you can do scarcity announcements. And this should be at the beginning of the listing, the very first thing that they see. It should be maybe one sentence, most tops. No more than one sentence, otherwise, again, it's going to get spammy, it's not going to be useful. So think about, especially at the holidays, this time of year, shipping deadlines. You usually put a shipping deadline maybe in an announcement section. You can update your processing times, but you can also put it in your description. Etsy allows you to bulk edit descriptions now, so you can put it in the beginning of your description for all your listings, and then after, take it out. You can edit it and delete it. If it's the exact same phrase, you can find and delete it out of all your listings under the bulk edit tool within Etsy, which makes things fast, easy, and it also gives customers the important information that they need to know. So think outside the box with this. There's a lot of things you can use it for, but it's just another way to communicate with the Etsy buyers, either help them out or present some type of marketing tactic to help make some more sales. So a lot of different ways to use that to your advantage, but I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned it because a lot of people don't really think of their description in terms of like an announcement type format. But yeah, there's definitely ways that you guys can use that. But that is it. Those are the 5 Etsy description hacks, plus a bonus in there for you to help you guys bulletproof your descriptions and really kind of think through how you're presenting your descriptions, what you're doing. If you don't have a description, or you have, actually, I don't think you can actually list a listing without a description. I think you have to put something in there. But if you have 3 words in your description, please, for the love of God, go back and fix that, update it, really think through that process, because you are doing yourself a huge disservice. And the nice thing about a description is it's not permanent. If your descriptions suck, you can go back and fix them, go back and update them. You should do that anyways as part of your workflow. Every couple of months or every year, refresh your descriptions, kind of think through how they're written, reinvigorate them, and something that as you progress and get better within Etsy, more comfortable, your descriptions and along with everything else should continue to improve, and that improvement will hopefully translate to more sales for you guys. But using this information should definitely put you in a step in the right direction. But if you guys want more information about descriptions, how to utilize them, and all the other factors that play into Etsy SEO, search engine optimization, the other important areas of your shop and your listings, make sure you download my free guide, the Etsy SEO Success Guide. It's a free download, a free reference. You can print it out, write on it, reference it to make sure that your listings and your shop are optimized so that you can have the most success the remainder of this year, but really get off the ground, get your foot running in the right direction. How do you say that? I'm really messing up at the end here, but hit the ground running is what I'm trying to say if I get it right. There you go. Wow. Whew, that was tough. Hit the ground running in 2023 so that you can have a successful year. Make sure you guys get that at handmadeandbeyond.com/Etsy SEO success. I got it out. Congrats to me. I'm going to go take a nap now. I'll talk to you guys later. That is it for today's episode. I'll be back soon with another great episode for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day and Christmas, New Year's, and I will be back soon. See ya.